I'm Mark Dill. I'm Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What we're going to be doing today is an unveil of our 2011 Indy 500 100th anniversary logo. So we're pretty excited about that. And in this, we're launching the beginning of our celebration. We're going to be running a number of events leading up to the big race day, and you'll be able to see some things on our web. We're going to, starting today, Donald Davidson is going to have some interesting historic photos, and those are going to be loaded every day, and he's going to have an audio voiceover. And that's just a tiny fragment of the things that we're going to be doing to build up towards the big race, the 100th anniversary of what we call the most important race in history, the Indianapolis 500. I appreciate everyone coming today, and at this time I'd like to introduce the President and CEO of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Mr. Jeff Belskis. He's going to have a few words before we start our satellite link from Pebble. And be a little patient because we're coordinating with out in Pebble Beach, but we'll be unveiling the logo there as well as here. One other thing I wanted to mention is that this is done in concert with the Henry Ford, which is a museum in Detroit, and they are going to unveil the newly restored Jimmy Clark 1965 Indianapolis 500 winning car. Jeff?
Thank you, Mark, and thank you all for coming. This is a very exciting time for us here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're excited to get this underway and launch with the unveiling of our logo today. So we have many, as Mark said, many exciting things planned for the next 9 months leading up to race day, May 29th, 2011. So, and we want everyone here to join us in this celebration as well over the next 9 months. And we're looking to engage the community and the state as well. So we have a lot of things planned. I'm pleased to be joined today by three-time Indianapolis 500-mile race champion and one of my heroes, Johnny Rufford. I think he's going to help today with the activities.
Thank you. Contrary to what Bobby Unser might say, I did not run in all of the races here at the Indianapolis 500, but he did. It's great to see everybody out to watch the unveiling of the logo for, it's amazing, 100 years. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been here, and it's, you know, you don't buy tradition, you build it. And it certainly has built a long line of tradition and famous races and drivers, and I'm proud to have been a part of just a little bit of it. But it's been a good time for me, and auto racing been very, very good to me. So I've had a great time. Do we want to do any question and answer Q&A? Anybody have any questions about anything they've seen in the museum here, or about the Bobby Unser and how long he's raced? I gotta get my licks in first because he's going to come at me with hammer and tongs. Anybody have a question? Nope. One. Yes, sir. When's the last time you took the pit doors special out for a spin, and what was your speed the year you won the race? Don't say spin to a race driver. I drove this last was it June, or I think in June, or maybe prior to that. Was it June? May. In May. Well, I drove it in May, I guess, to open the ticket sales for the race, 2010 race, and I've driven it several times. I've driven it several times. In fact, Jim Hall, who had the car built and was the owner of Chaparral Racing, that we had 3 cars initially, and we destroyed one at Riverside, California, or just damaged it badly enough Jim didn't want to repair the tub. So there are 2 left, and Jim has one that runs in Midland in the museum there, and this is the winning car that was in the museum here, and they both run. So that's quite a feat for cars. That was 30 years ago. What was my qualifying speed? I think 192 miles an hour. But at that period, they were trying to slow the cars down with engine control, with turbocharger control, and so it was a situation where they were, the speeds were fluctuating a little bit. Different tracks went faster and so on. So that Speedway is still always the fastest. I was the the first driver to unofficially run 200 at the Speedway here in practice, and we weren't able to duplicate that during official qualifying. Anyway, do what? Yeah, Sneva, the gas man, beat me to it. What have we got? Uh-oh, here he is.
Part of history, and thank God for the Ford Museum. I was going to say Motorsports Hall of Fame. It isn't. It's Edsel Ford helping us a lot. It's everybody just helping an awful lot on it. And I look at this car while I was running back there. I drove an old Maserati from 1940 when, wasn't it? 1939, 1940, from the Indianapolis Speedway Museum. So it was right next door to me, and I enjoyed seeing that. And then it reminded me that in 1965, I was driving a front-engine car called the Novi. I have a cat that's named, a Siamese cat called Novi. And so it brought back a lot of good memories. It was a changing of times. It was really a big change. Dan Gurney, because of the Formula One stuff that he used to do, because of his international racing, went around the world, talked up their technology, talked them into bringing it to the Indianapolis track, and it was a good thing, and it was an exciting thing. But a lot of us, like Foyt and Parnelli and myself, I wasn't doing, I was kind of new in those days, getting started, but nonetheless, it was all front engine stuff. The Novi, although it was a four-wheel drive car, all-wheel drive. Excuse me. And so that was quite different. But the change was this car right here. Colin Chapman brought it back, all caused by Dan Gurney. I'll bet for a long time everybody really knocked Dan for causing all racing to change world over, because that's exactly what happened. But it turned out to be just a super time. The Roadsters left, the wide tires came in, the rear engine, and this is the car, which we're going to see in just a little bit.
Bobby, can you hear Indianapolis? Say hi to Indianapolis. Johnny.
Indianapolis, you guys on the phone back there?
You bet.
Hello,
Speak
this
up.
is Bobby Answer. Anybody listening?
Yes, can you hear me, Bobby? This is Johnny Rutherford.
Yes, I can. Hello, Johnny.
How you doing?
Johnny Rutherford talking. I know who he is. I'm doing fine. I've got the volume all the way up. Talk loud. There,
What-
I can hear you better.
Now-
How you
now-
guys doing back there?
Oh, we're just having a picnic. Can you hear
Having
me?
a picnic.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. You sound just like you always have.
Yes. No, we're here to celebrate the unveiling of the logo for the 100th year celebration of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we've got it online ready to show the world. And I'm standing right here beside one of my dear old friends, the Pennzoil Chaparral of Jim Halls.
Well, that's good. We're out here. I've got Dan Gurney. I'm looking out in front. I'm looking at Edsel Ford sitting over here. It isn't raining on us, but it's been raining out here. So we've got the nicest group out here you could believe. So you guys are doing the centennial thing back there, getting that cranked up too, aren't you, Johnny?
That's right, Bobby. Tell Dan and everybody out there hello for us. We're sorry they're not here to celebrate with us, but you guys are having a good time, it looks like, when you stay dry.
We're having a really good time. They got a little racetrack out here. Got Alex Gurney sitting over here. He wants to know what he's going to be able to drive. I think his dad's going to stick him in something to drive out at the track probably tomorrow. Tomorrow, Alex? Yep. So we're all having a good time, but it's been raining this morning, but it's going to clear. I can see a little bit of blue sky out here right now, so we're going to have a good time out here. Main thing is going to be the unveiling of this beautiful car, and you guys cranking off your centennial, I guess, all about the same time.
That's right. We're planning to unveil the logo, and you can unveil the car. And I was going to ask, do you remember Or can you remember back as far as it was when we were rookies?
Can I remember back when we were rookies? Boy, I guess I can, because Johnny Rutherford and Bobby Unser, I guess we were at the same time, and that would have been 1963. So you wasn't, I know one thing, you weren't born rich in those days, so
No.
you were brand new.
None of us were, I don't think, Bobby.
Yes, we're going to do the unveiling right now, Johnny.
I'd like to ask Edsel Ford to come up, and Dan Gurney, please. And our curator, Bob Casey.
Right
Curator
now,
of
Johnny,
Transportation,
tell
Henry
everybody
Ford.
back there we're going to unveil this beautiful Lotus Ford.
Okay, Edsel, why don't you get down there? And then Dan, we're going to put you right here. And then Bob, if you could be back there. One, two, three. The car was recently restored and conserved by Clive Chapman of Classic Team Lotus and Walt Goodwin of Indy Restorations. And what's fabulous about this is that it's exactly what happened in '65. Colin Chapman coming again with an American company and putting this together. So the son of Colin Chapman and the son of Henry Ford II, Edsel B. Ford, coming together to restore this jewel and give it back to America. And the celebration of the Indy Centennial.
Here you go, insert. Isn't that a pretty logo? Sure.
That is a beautiful logo, the Centennial for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indianapolis 500. Greatest sporting event on earth for certainly America's pride.